elaborating on a brother's dream. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to do a response video to a video that was done by this brother right here, GMS Testimonials, in which, as you can see on the screen right here, this brother had a dream. Okay, and in his dream, he mentions some scary things he had. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. I'm gonna let the brother speak, then I'm gonna continue from there.
Beautiful. We live. All right. Shalom. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, ahchyam, Yahweh Shai, ahchyam, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. It's the brother Yahweh coming back at you with another lesson to edify the hope for elect. So Lord willing that this video be edifying. As you see on the screen, brothers, I just woke up from a nap, and I had a dream, man, about these blackouts, and it was a scary dream.
Just real quick, a scripture just suddenly came to my mind. The spirit flows. Spirit flows. See, Bible. Okay, and your sons shall dream dreams. KJV. Let's hit that. Okay, so I know it's also in the book of Joel. It's not the KJV version. Oh well, I guess it is, but I just prefer to get the one in the King James Bible. So this was also reiterated in the book of Acts, but I'm gonna just get the one in Joel. Okay, because there's prophecies in the Old Testament that are speaking even in these last days. So you New Testament guys, well, the Old Testament is irrelevant. Well, here's your proof that the Old Testament is still relevant. Actually, it is highly relevant, because there are prophecies in the Old Testament that are happening right now on the earth, even as I speak. So Joel chapter 2 verse 28, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And what is a vision? A vision is like a visual, movie as to what's going to happen in the future before it happens. That's what a vision is. It's like a visual movie in front of you as to what's going to happen in the future before it happens. Because the Lord can do that. The Lord can show you things, events that are going to happen in the future before they happen. He can show them to you in dreams. He can show them to you when depending on how good you are at meditating. If you're real good at meditating, like putting your mind in a complete focused, concentrated state of mind to where your mind is in a trance, the Lord can even send you visions like that too. It all depends on when, where, and how the Lord wants to send you visions. But the main way, as far as we know, as to how the Lord sends visions to people, dreams and all that, he sends them visions, and he sends them visions while they are asleep. Okay? Because sometimes you might be asleep, you might have a dream, and you might have a vision of something, whereas you might wake up and you might think it's just a dream, but it might have actually been a vision for telling you what's going to happen in the future before it happens. So sometimes dreams can actually be visions, you know. Like Second Esdras, Second Esdras, the 13th chapter, I believe Esdras was asleep when he had that vision about Yahushai, returning, and the war being in heaven with Michael and NATO and the rest of the world's armies coming up against Yahushai, Michael and the angels. Okay, Esdras was asleep when he saw that vision. Okay, and then he woke up out of that vision being horribly afraid. Okay, Esdras woke up out of that sleep being afraid. You see, so yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's go ahead and continue watching this video.
It was a scary dream, and I want to elaborate on the dream that I just had. Excuse me, for looking rough. Like I said, I just woke up. But this dream, man, it was about blackouts, and it was very terrifying to the point where I jumped out of my sleep, because it felt so.
See, he jumped out of his sleep. Now you can only imagine how Esdras woke up when he saw that vision of Yahushai and the chariots, and Michael, and the angels of heaven going to war against NATO and the rest of the world's armies, and then seeing those people get zapped of powder and the smell of smoke and dust, and then that's when Esdras woke up, man. So Esdras, he probably jumped out of his sleep too. A lot of prophets, after they saw visions, they fell sick, man. They were so afraid. They literally became sick. I've actually had a horrible dream before, a terrifying dream. I've shared it with the brothers before on my original YouTube account, A Dark Matter Yahweh, where I was in a concentration camp, and I was hearing children crying in the background, and how Esau was sawing this Israelite baby in half. Well, the baby was sitting in a cage, but then he took the Israelite baby out the cage, and all you hear is a chainsaw in the background. I could hear the baby getting sawed in half, and then I started hearing the baby cough, and then after that I just didn't hear the baby at all. So that baby was murdered, man, sawed in half, and then meanwhile you hear the children crying and screaming in the background, calling for their parents. Yeah, the Lord will send you visions like that. He will send you dreams like that.
For real, but and it was very terrifying to the point where I jumped out of my sleep, because it felt so real.
And we're not the only brothers who have dreams like this. The Lord sends dreams and visions to brothers like this all the time, man, because we're getting close to the end, and the closer we get to Jacob's trouble, the more the Lord is going to send brothers dreams and visions. Now, not every dream or vision is going to be horrifying. Some brothers might have dreams of having spiritual powers, communing with brothers in the last days, rejoicing, seeing the Lord's return. It all depends on what Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua wants to do.
But let me bring out this one scripture, and I'll elaborate on the dream. But hey, we definitely know times, man. We definitely know times. Salakia. Just trying to get my thoughts together.
Take your time, brother.
But this is Joel 2 and verse 28, and it says, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy.
That's the
Your
spirit.
old man shall dream dreams.
Now, to show you that's the spirit, I didn't even make it this far in the video. So that just goes to show you how the spirit flows, okay? I didn't even make it this far in the video. I just started playing this video as soon as after I started recording.
And your young man shall see visions. And hey, that's what I seen. Whether it was in my dream, a vision. And we know that we're in a time where, these elites are finna bring in nothing but destruction. Okay, nothing but hell is finna come to Babylon the Great. And we're in a time where, the government is speaking about blackouts. Blackouts coming to different states. And the dream that I had, that I seen the blackout. I was actually in it. And I was, I was driving. So I was driving. It was me and my rib and my daughter was in her car, and we was going to another town, and as I was driving, I was finna go around. I was going around a curve, and everything just went black, man. And the car lights went out. The headlights went out. Like the digital dash, everything just went black. Even, I didn't see nothing but pitch black darkness. It was so dark that I couldn't even see the road. I couldn't even see the road or where I was going. But as I was riding, the lights came back on, but it was like in those movies, okay, in a movie where you see that lights be flickering, like the power is finna go out, but it's continuing to stay on just for a little bit, like flickering. That's how the car engine was, like the battery or something was going dead. Like the battery was going dead, but the lights came on. I was trying to twist the lights on, and it wasn't working. Then it finally came on, and I was seeing where I was going. As I was going up the street, still going, it just totally went out again, and I couldn't see nothing. Like I said, I couldn't see nothing on the road. I couldn't see nothing on the side of the road. I couldn't see anything, and I happened to turn the car. I happened to turn the car because I thought we was finna go around a curve. So I happened to turn the car, and I just remember me, the car finally stopped as I turned, and I looked over, my rib, she was panicking. My daughter was in the back. She wasn't saying nothing, but she wasn't saying anything. But when I got out the car, the crazy thing was when I got out the car, it started getting bright outside. Like the lights started coming on, like the sun was coming out. The sun was coming out. Then I came out around the car to make sure my daughter was straight. She was laying in her car seat. She had on some shades, but she was good. Like everybody was in the car good, but just out of that, I really can't explain that last part. When the sun came out and that part, but I do. Want to elaborate about, going through that blackout, that blackout like an EMP attack had just happened. That's what it seemed like everything with from a car to light poles, anything with energy had just went out. Anything with energy just went out, and that's what it made it seem like an EMP attack. Like I said, the car was flickering, the lights were...
And it's interesting that he say that because earlier this year, the government came out and said that they made claims that Russia was threatening to unleash a EMP attack upon the United States of America. So that could very well be true, because we know that anything that happens on the soils of America, it's not coming from outside sources, it's coming from within. Just like September 11th, that what happened to those twin towers, that came from inside sources. The US government's responsible. So if there is an EMP attack over here on the soils of America, just know that Russia is not behind it. They're because from time to time again, the Esau Edom, he's been known to do something devastating to his own country, but then put the blame on somebody else. Okay, the first ones to take the blame for September 11th, 2001 was who? The Arabs. But the U.S. government, the government officials, the Illuminati, the so-called elites, the heads of the Illuminati, through the U.S. government, they were the last ones that people would think would be responsible for those towers going down. So if there is an EMP attack, you better best believe they're going to try to put the blame on Russia to justify going to war. So yeah, and I believe last year they even spoke about that. Last year they spoke about how Russia could possibly unleash a EMP attack upon the United States. Okay, now we must also consider Revelation 12 verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Why? Because the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. The so-called elites, they know they have but a short time to issue in their NWO, and to get everybody CHIPPED. And a part of how they're going to do that is that they're going to attempt to scare people into accepting the NWO. One of the ways they're going to attempt to scare people into accepting the NWO is by taking away their power. If you take away their electricity, they can't cook. They can't enjoy movies. They can't play video games. Eventually, their phone will die out. So, I highly doubt the cell phone towers will work without electricity. So, their phone service will be down. People's going to start bugging out, figuring out what the hell to do. Basically, when the power grid goes out, everything goes back to the Stone Ages. Well, I wouldn't say the Stone Ages, but everything goes back to how it was in the ancient world, where you had to learn how to start a fire. You had to learn how to hunt down your own food. You had to learn how to do this and that. You had to learn how to use first aid emergency supplies. Believe it or not, a lot of these people here on the soils of America is so goddamn stupid, they don't even know how to use a first aid kit. Okay, what happens if you get scratched by poison ivy? You're just going to sit there on the ground and crying, oh shit, bro, man, I'm dead, man. Yeah, well, you know what? That's because a lot of you people, you don't know how to use a first aid kit. When I was young, it was common to be taught to know and learn how to use a first aid kit. How many of you people have flashlights? A lot of you people, you're not prepared. You think America is invincible, nothing bad could ever happen to this country, but let me tell you something, you could be ever so wrong, man. Because this devil, they're about to move with their NWO, and they're going to do anything to get you people to accept the mark. Okay? The charagma. Okay? If they have to scare you people into taking the charagma, that's exactly what the so-called elites are going to do. Because the so-called elites, they know, okay, when the power goes out and it turns nighttime, that's when people truly start to show their horns. Okay? And some other things people must take into consideration is that if the power goes out, that a lot of the food in your grocery stores are going to go bad. I'm talking at least 30% of your food. Because 30% of the food, well, I would say, yeah, about maybe 35% of the food in your grocery store is going to go bad. Because your grocery store contains mostly what? Fruits, vegetables, those have to be refrigerated. Green goodness, blue goodness, you got your dairy products like milk, cheese. Those things have to stay cool. If not, they'll go bad. Okay? Your meats, you know, your meats, they have to stay cool or they'll go bad. So if like for an example, if the power goes out, that's like 35% of your food supply in these different grocery stores gone. Okay, so in an event that the power goes out, you better best believe that people's going to be raiding these grocery stores. Okay, they're going to be filling their grocery carts up with a bunch of boxed and canned foods, bottled water, anything that do not require a stove to cook on, or that may require a stove to cook on, anything that does not require to be put in the refrigerator. So you see, a lot of things can come from a blackout, from a power outage. And a lot of people don't take that into consideration. They take a blackout as some small little thing. Hey, look, man. Let's see you people go a whole week of enduring blackouts. Watch the crime rate go up.
It was coming off and on, but it finally went out, you know. And I say, oh man, hey, that's the spirit, man. Because that's the time we in where Esau's saying about rolling out these different blackouts this coming winter, you know, the different EMP attacks, electric magnetic pulse attacks, you know, when the grid is just going to be shut down, you know, and just blackouts throughout America, man. And it's going to lead to people, you know, getting real violent. Mm-hmm. That's going to lead to a lot of death in that time.
Crime rate is
rolling out, blackouts rolling out when you have no energy resources.
And let me tell you something else too. A lot of you proud women out there, you like to flaunt your body around. You like to shake your butt on Instagram and TikTok and all this other shit. Okay, a lot of you women, you're gonna become victims in that day. Okay, you're gonna be prey. Okay, you ain't gonna be out. You're not gonna just be out there, you know, dressed like some whore, looking for some dude to jump from, you know, looking to jump from dude to dude, man. Okay, during those blackouts, you're gonna keep your little black, funky, stinking ass in the house, and you're gonna be quiet. You ain't gonna be on TikTok. You ain't gonna be on Instagram, because all them dudes that you've been messing with, you're gonna be afraid that they gonna find out where you live at, and they gonna have their way with you. And a lot of you women, the Lord's gonna set you up to be ravished in those days, man. Okay, especially you good looking women that like to be on TikTok, flaunting your body around and your hair and this and that, and you fans onlys. Yeah, hey, in those days you're gonna be in hiding. You're gonna be terrified, and the Lord is still gonna bring judgment on you whores out there, you harlots. So a lot of you women, you're gonna be humble in that day. You ain't gonna have no electricity to be able to use a electric hot comb to get your hair done and all this other BS. Okay, you're gonna be hiding in the house, praying that nobody finds out where you live at. And if somebody knock on your door, you're probably gonna take your children and hide somewhere in the house. Because the Lord is not playing around, okay? We're getting ready to enter into the time of judgment, Jacob's trouble.
That's the spirit, man, because that's the time we're living in. When they talking about the energy crisis, you know, energy crisis in Babylon the Great, you know, and it was so scary. Like I said, I jumped out my sleep, you know. But hey, that's the time we coming into, brothers. All right, that's the time we coming into, where the Lord is finna bring nothing but death and destruction to this place. And if you is not ready and built up and waiting for the return of Yahweh Shah and rooted, man, hey, it's a wrap for you, man. This point blank period, it's a wrap for you. You know, that's why.
As a matter of fact, Isaiah 33:6, and knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Okay, now when you move to the book of Psalms chapter 34 verse 7, it says, the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. So if you fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord has an angel encamped around you, ready to deliver you in the time of distress or trouble. Okay, and Lord's will, you know, we be of the elect. You know, Lord's will, we be of the chosen. Now, I wanted to get this here in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 1, because what the brother is speaking about is actually in the Holy Scriptures. Because back in ancient Egypt, right? Back in ancient Egypt, the Lord told Moses to stretch his hand towards the sky, that he might bring darkness upon the Egyptians, darkness that might be felt. Now, before I read Wisdom of Solomon 17, let me get 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse, I don't know if it's 13 or whatever, but I'm going to just look for it. So bear with me for one moment. So here we go. 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse 11. It says, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm," okay, "and smite Egypt with plagues as before." Now, one of the plagues that the Lord had smitten Egypt with, ancient Egypt with, was what? The 3 days of darkness, okay? "And will destroy all the land thereof." So here in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 17th chapter, it goes into detail of what the Egyptians went through during those 3 days of darkness. So let's get into it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 1. It says, "For great are thy judgments, and cannot be expressed. Therefore unnurtured souls have erred." Okay, verse 2. "For when unrighteous men," who are those unrighteous men? Those unrighteous men are those Egyptians. Okay. It says, "For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with bonds of a long night, laid there exiled from the eternal providence. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions." And this was going on during the 3 days of darkness in Egypt. You see that? And you know, if you notice something about these scary movies, okay, the main time when these spirits and these scary movies come out, like The Haunting of Salem, you know, or The Haunting of Tennessee, or The Grudge, you know, the movie The Grudge, you know, 13 Ghosts, you know, 13 Ghosts, House on Haunted Hill, you know, the movie House on Haunted Hill, I believe that came out in the 1990s. You know, that movie, that's one of the most scariest movies I've seen. But hey, that movie gives you an idea of strange apparitions. Okay, House on Haunted Hill, you know, that's not necessarily a movie you should watch by yourself. I mean, I watch it by myself because I'm used to watching scary movies. But I'm used to watching scary movies by myself. But all these scary movies that's about apparitions, strange apparitions. If you notice something about all these strange apparitions that you hear about in haunted house movies, if you notice, these strange apparitions always more than likely strike at nighttime. Why is it that in the vast majority of these scary movies that's about ghosts, right? Why is it that these apparitions always strike at nighttime? Okay, because Esau, he knows that the vast majority of the people, they're afraid of the dark. They're afraid of the dark. You know, and you know what? That the best time to scare the shit out of somebody is in the dark. When they least expect something to be in that dark corner, and something, you know, the thought process or the feeling of the fact that something could possibly be there can easily spook a lot of people out. You know, here it is. There might be a room in your house, You barely even go in that room. You know, that room might be empty, vacant. You might even keep the door open. You know, it might be nighttime. You might walk past that room. But I can guarantee you that walking past that room will probably give you an eerie feeling after watching a scary movie. So, if you notice something about a lot of these scary movies, the apparitions more than likely strike at nighttime, terrorizing their prey. Like in some of those movies I just listed you. You know? So during this 3 days of darkness, these Egyptians were troubled. They were horribly troubled with strange apparitions. Okay? For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. Sad visions, you know, their visions of them seeing themselves die in the future. Think about that. That's an example of a sad vision. These Egyptians, they were literally seeing themselves die horribly. You know? Boy. So what these Egyptians went through is far worse than somebody being overdosed on weed or drugs, man. You know, because somebody who's eating edibles or smoked weed, which you're not supposed to smoke weed, but you know, and of course you're not supposed to eat edibles, but you know, just giving an example, you know, that high that you first got when you first ate an edible, that shit was heavy, like bruh, like your breathing felt off track. You know, you just started, you know, you started seeing shit. You know, you might have started, you know, having thought processes of yourself. Like what the fuck? Like, you know? But what the Lord did to these Egyptians is far worse than that. These Egyptians, they were seeing visions of themselves die. They was probably seeing visions of their family members die in front of them. You know? You know? And then on top of that, they was being plagued by strange apparitions. Think about that. Strange, not apparitions, but strange apparitions. They were being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions. It says, no power of the fire might give them light. So it was so dark that not even fire could light up their places, wherever they were at. It says, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night. So it was so dark out that not even the stars or the moon could lighten that horrible night. You know? And we're talking about darkness that may be felt. So you could be walking in the midst of this darkness and you might think somebody just grabbed your shoulder. That'd easily startle somebody. Make them jump like, whoop. You know, like... It says, only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. For being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight that they saw not. So the Egyptians saw it better for them to close their eyes than for their eyes to be open. That's how horrible, that's how terrifying the Lord was scaring these Egyptians, man. The Lord had these Egyptians petrified, terrified. As for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom, the Egyptians' vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. They were sick themselves for fear. Think about that. The Lord terrified these Egyptians so bad during this, and this is going to happen to America. I read it in 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter and the 11th verse. The Lord said that he was going to smite Egypt with plagues as before. America is the new Egypt. America is modern day Egypt. All you have to do is look on the back of your dollar bill, and when you read Revelation 11 verse 8, it says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt." Who's known as the great city? Babylon. Who is Babylon in the Holy Scriptures? America. The United States of America is Babylon, that great city. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So there you go. Okay? So America is America is modern day Egypt. If you look on the back of your $1 bill, what do you see? A pyramid. Okay? That pyramid is synonymous with Egypt, which Egypt goes back to the Hebrew word matazarium, which means bondage, which bondage means slavery. So, and slavery indeed happened over here on the soils of America. It says, "For both no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that pass by and hissing of serpents." It says, they died for fear. So the Lord gave their ass a heart attack. The Lord scared these Egyptians so badly that he gave them heart attacks. Okay, now let me remind you, what happened to ancient Egypt is going to happen to modern day Egypt, which is the United States of America. Okay, the Lord said that he was going to smite Egypt with plagues as before, right? So this country is going to be smitten with the same plagues that ancient Egypt was hit with. This is coming to America. Okay? It says, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very timorous in being pressed with conscience, always forecasteth grievous things. So I mean, that's pretty much the point there. You know, I wanted to do a response video to this brother's dream. Lord's will, you were edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Salutations to the Lord's elect. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. With that, I'm going to say Shalom. Is on to the next one.